Hey guys, Matt Palmer here. Figured I'd make this video to just take a quick minute to talk to you about my North drum set. I've gotten a lot of questions about it because they're very rare, weird, but also at the same time very cool drums. So I wanted to give a quick history lesson about them, why I have them, and give you a quick little sound demo of them. So first off, quick little history lesson. So North drums were made by Roger North, a former Bostonian who played for a band named Quill back in the late 60s. And one day they were sound checking and Roger decided, they were playing in this big amphitheater, and Roger decided, you know what, I'm going to have my drum tech play drums and I'm going to go out in the audience and hear what my drums sound like. And for the first time, he recognized one of the fatal flaws of the classic drum design in that the sound dies. And if anything, instead of going out to the audience, the sound goes back to you. So the sound that he heard of his drum set was completely different than what he knew before, because he was finally able to stand out in the audience and hear what his drum set actually sounded like. So with that in mind, he went back to his Boston apartment and started making these fiberglass drums with a design in mind to project the sound of your toms and your bass drum out into the audience. So he originally made them for himself. They were really big, but then he was able to shrink them down, and he eventually filed a patent for it in 1971. That patent was granted, and he was able to start selling North drums all over the world in 73. So they were produced, like I said, from the 70s into the early 90s. However, they weren't that successful, unfortunately. A couple notable drummers used them. The drummer from the Circle Jerks used them for a short period of time. He had a yellow set. And the drummer from, I believe, Yes, used them. So they weren't that successful in the long run because they weren't like other drums that were out there. These drums, like I said, are made of fiberglass, and even though it might not look like it, they have a very quick and direct sound, almost like a studio tom sound. And a lot of drummers weren't as big on that because they liked their, toms that have a lot of resonance to them, a lot of deep, ringy sound. And so a lot of people shied away from them. Or they just thought, these things look so ridiculous, they look like something out of a Dr. Seuss book. There's no way I can play with these on stage. But me personally, I think these are some of the best drums that ever have existed. I have a full double bass Tama Rockstar set, and I love them dearly. That's what I initially played gigs with, but it kind of struck me as a little inconvenient after a while because, I'm just piling moon gels and other dampening devices on there to essentially create the sound that I got from these Norths straight out of the box. Now, that's not to diss on Tama or Pearl or any drum brand out there, because frankly, I'm not in the position to do that. And like I said, my drum set of Tamas are my babies. They're precious to me. So I will say, though, that these drums sound great pretty much right out of the box. Obviously, I didn't buy them out of a box. I bought them used because this drum set's over 30 years old. And I have it now as my primary gig set, which might seem weird to a lot of people out there, but I think they sound really great. And I think, honestly, even though the look of them could be interpreted as a little goofy, I think they look awesome. They look totally killer and different, which I've always been about. So yeah, I love these things. But without further ado, let's let you guys hear these things. So, for those of you wondering, I'll give you a quick rundown of the sizes here. Right here, my first rack tom. This is a 6-inch tom, even though it might not look like it in the front there. It is a 6-inch tom. That was the flare I was talking about on the drums. It projects the sound outward to you right there. So, 6-inch tom. We got an 8-inch tom right here. 10-inch. 12-inch. And then right here, the big honker of the toms, my 14-inch floor tom. Absolutely love the sound of that. Great wide range of sound here. And then finally, what would a drum set be without the bass drum itself? This is a 22-inch bass drum. Sounds like this. I'm using rubber beaters on my kick pedals, but yeah, just great. Nice, deep, juicy, clicky sound. Absolutely love it. So, and these drums themselves, as you could probably see from the other angle over there, they don't have really any dampening on them. As many drummers know, you apply 1,000 moon gels or sticky hands, whichever you use, and about 40 dampening rings. And these, I was able to put around 1-2 moon gels on each, and they're absolutely perfect in my opinion. So, gonna give you guys a quick sound demo. This is just a standard song, you know, just something real simple. I'm using Soul Tone cymbals. I'm an endorser of Soul Tone cymbals. These are also great and wonderful. I have a separate video where I give a little bit more attention to just those if you're interested in these. So, without further ado, here you go. There you go.